Order. Roll call.
McKnight.
Here.
Myers. Absent. Rolla.
Here.
Vogel.
Here.
Kendrick. Absent.
Public comment on agenda.
None.
None. Budget presentation.
So there are representatives from the MARC here, Mara, to present their budget and things happening at the MARC this year and future plans. So I'll turn it over to Aaron. All right.
Sorry, I'll go first. You'll be up, no doubt. I'm John Ziegler. Been my privilege to represent Meadville for the last 17 years on the recreation board for the MARC. You know, the changes that have occurred over that period of time have been many, and I think this year reflects the fact that the MARC is a thriving entity that's supported by the Meadville, supported by the townships, and supported by the community. If you look at our, you know, just an example, our dehumidifier, which was $114,000, you know, that was supported by Federal Credit Union. Battle the Badges contributed to that in the rental of it, and it dehumidified, for those that don't know, that dehumidified the rink area so we don't have condensation dripping off the roof when it's warm. But that's just the support that we get from the community that believes in the rec complex. And it's gone from just being the rec complex to integrated with the softball fields, and being, you know, part of the overall recreation in Meadville. And I know the Meadville's budget for recreation goes to the complex. I realize that that's the case, but I'd just like to say that it really does support the recreation in Meadville from all angles. We've listed how many times that, you know, everything from bocce ball courts to pickleball courts to, you know, skating and to swimming. And we've been nimble with Aaron at the helm. You know, if the pickleball needs more courts, we can convert a little bit of our tennis courts to pickleball courts to make, you know, so that the public has what they need for recreation. And so we follow trends in need also. The money that the city kindly allocates to the rec complex is in the operating budget. And so when you look at our figures from endowment funds, what we raise from the endowment funds, you know, that's separate. That's strictly capital that goes to replacing roofs, replacing, you know, really important things like sewage pumps. Okay, those sorts of things have to come out of that budget, and it leaves the operating expenses to the city, to the township, and to our partners within the community. The various industries that partner with the MARC enable that programming to take place. With the increase in programming, Aaron's been able to bring up the pool revenues by about $40,000 because of, you know, everything from Silver Sneakers being in there. I think, let's see, who's the other? I think the
swim lessons, the ARC.
The ARC, that's what I was thinking, the ARC comes over there. So there's just isn't one segment of the community that's using the rec complex. It really covers everything from young to old, benefits from having it. So I hope that they'll consider to keep the rec complex in the budget and continue to support it. We're doing everything we can to cut costs, to reallocate money. You know, sometimes we save someplace. You know, maybe next year we won't have to replace 7 sewage pumps, but electricity goes up. You know, our bill goes up for that, so the money just gets reallocated into a different area in order for the rec complex to maintain and continue to serve the public. What questions do you have that I can answer, and the ones I can't, I know Aaron can.
Do certain activities go through phases? Like when you opened the skate park a number of years ago, is the use today equivalent, or is it?
I'm sure it's cyclic. There's been, it's been maintained to the point where people can use it, for sure, but there's groups that come through that are using those facilities to a greater degree. I would say, volleyball followed that. For a while we had a volleyball court behind the pool area. Well, that turned out to be, okay, at this point wasn't being used as much, so now it's a lawn, now it's a playground for kids while they're in their parents are swimming or whatever, with their brothers and sisters are swimming. The kiddie pool was used a lot, not so much. Nobody was using the kiddie pool. Filled in the kiddie pool. We have a pavilion now over that area, so people can get out of the sun. They can take their kids underneath there. That people can run it, use it for parties. So we've tried to adapt to the cyclic nature of use.
Good.
Any other questions?
John, thanks so much
Yeah.
for serving the mark, and I appreciate the service that you've given to our city in this way.
It's been a privilege. No,
Yeah.
it's been a privilege to be part of it.
We appreciate the work all of you do.
Well, there's a real dedication to the people that work there, the employees. A lot of people just love to be part of it. They really feel a connection to it. And the things we notice is that, how many people's grandkids are now part of the mark after 50 years. And I know they're planning some ideas for this next year, for the 50th year.
This coming year is the 50th? That's great, that's
Yeah, I'm gonna
exciting.
talk about that in a couple seconds.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yes, I'll turn it over to Aaron, but thank you again.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to touch a little bit on some of the data and some things that I've noticed, some trends and some hurdles that we've overcome for this year, and then what we're going to do for 2024. First of all, I just want to thank the MARF and the community in a whole for raising our endowment fund from $110,000 to $140,000. It's not easy when you're trying to raise money for sewage pumps and capital improvements, and then also doing for an endowment fund, so I want to thank the MARF very much and the community. We successfully ran the first softball league down at Lincoln softball fields. I thought that was a fantastic partnership that we had with Vernon Township, and it also brought the community something for adults. I don't think there's a lot to do in Meadville for the adults as far as recreation goes, where they're actually organized, so I think that was a huge success for that league to be run. Our pool pavilion project was completed, just like John said. Also our playground was completed, and the dehumidifier was also. So this is the big capital improvements that we did for this year. We had a 42% increase in our revenue on the pool side. We had a 1.45% increase on the rink side, and we had an 11.9% increase in revenue on the concession, which means all three entities of the mark are increasing, which means that the mark is being used more. We had about 74,000 people enter the mark last year. We had 76,000 people this year, so we had 2,000 more people. We also increased our community partnerships, thanks to Tim, working really hard for the city getting them, and ARC and Touchstone. I want to thank all of them. So our increase in revenue went to 152,000 from 75,000, so we almost doubled our community partnerships in the last year. Some of the hurdles that we've had to overcome was because the dehumidifier was down, we had to use a rental which used electricity. With our new contract, obviously electric went up, so we saw an 80% increase in our electric. So now that we're with our new dehumidifier, which is natural gas, hopefully that will settle back down to normal rates. Our personnel also went up. We employed 2 new people. We employed an aquatic director and a softball league coordinator, which those 2 people have other roles other than just those, but that's their main role at the mark. They're very dedicated employees, and again, the only cost is $30,000, but that is an increase, and we're hoping to see more programming in the future as they get more comfortable in those situations. And then, like John said, we had 7 pumps go down. We have 30 pumps total in the mark. 7 of them went down this year. The facility is 50 years old, and things are going to need replaced and not fixed. So we're starting to make a plan for replacement, not repair. We want to make sure the mark is going to be around for the next 50 years, for the next generation. And the way to do that is to change the infrastructure of the mark, not to just put Band-Aids on it. So we're working very hard on getting capital accounts together to be able to do that. So for the 50th year, we are going to have 4 major events. We're going to have a dinner. We are going to have a Remarkable Festival. We're going to have an alumni hockey game and hockey camp. And then we're also going to have a charity dinner. So those 4 things we are going to have, which I think are going to be fantastic. Donna Cessna is going to chair that committee for all these. And we're also going to run a fundraising campaign of what we call 50 for 50, where someone can donate $50 for the whole month. And we will make sure that they are recognized in some sort of special way. Those festivities will start June of 2024, when the pool opened back in 1974. And we'll spread out those activities throughout the year. So that's really all I got. Any questions?
No, Autumn?
The pumps you were talking about, are they sewage pumps? What-
Yeah, most of them are sewage pumps or they're circulation pumps.
Okay.
So the one we share with the middle school, they found a leak basically at the high school, which was flooding our pumps, which made the main sewage pump. So we will split those costs with Carver Central.
Okay.
Natural gas prices are pretty low right now.
Correct.
Has anyone studied the break-even point or the benefit point where it might behoove the Mark to have its own gas well on site?
That has not actually been discussed at this point. I don't know exactly where, but we do have some studies that we could send over to our consulting firm, Gary Spetz, and see if that's something maybe that would...
We have looked into that previously. I think our site, part of it was where you can drill and where you're not allowed to drill, and floodplains, and it didn't come to fruition when we looked at it when natural gas was $10 and much higher.
Yeah.
We did look into that.
And I do know that
At that
40% of the Mark's property is wetlands, so...
Oh, is it
Yeah.
that much?
Yeah, Aaron, you shared some really exciting numbers, I think, about the increased revenue in the, across all the programs, in particular, like the pool, and it sounded like the concessions too,
Yep.
was that right?
Yep.
I'm curious if you all have other thoughts for kind of diversifying revenue, into next year and into
Yeah, so
the
right
future.
now we're looking into, we have a little committee for pickleball. I think that could be a revenue generator for sure. We're looking into other healthcare companies as well. Right now we own Silver Sneakers, but there are other ones that allow senior citizens to come in and use the Mark for the pool side. We're also now starting to use the Silver Sneakers into our pickleball, so that every time they come, if they generously sign in, then we actually make some revenue from that. So there are some other entities that are high school is trying to fundraise to start a bocce club, which they would pay a rental for that. So there are some new things. We would like to finish the Frisbee golf, this golf course. Right now we have 6. If we can get to 9, then maybe we can run some tournaments, things like those. I know the garden committees come together looking for community partnerships. I pitched them the idea that if they could find a community partner to help fund the garden for a community coordinator, we would allow those employees to come in just like we would for our other community partnerships, so that they could use the Mark for free. So hoping that will kind of generate some buzz for the garden and get some revenue coming their way as well.
That's great. And then in terms of capital projects, you did talk about infrastructure, and you
Yeah.
mentioned the pumps. Are there other things that are maybe on your?
So we would like to redo the lobby area and the rink side. The bathrooms have been the same since, I think probably maybe the beginning. They're the same format. We'd like to get them updated, ADA compliant. I think the locker rooms could use a facelift, especially on the hockey side as well. The next big capital fund will probably be the pool or the rink roof. Everything's pretty much been replaced except for that, as far as the actual building construction part of it. So that will probably be the next big project that we'll have. But we have some smaller ones. We have the amphitheater project that PNC had donated $100,000 to do. So we're in the process of getting that done. And we're always taking more ideas. So if there's any ideas that you guys have, we would love to take those into consideration and come up with something. I know Roger Gilday wants to raise money for a new concession stand to build that up a little bit. So he's working with his group and seeing if he can come up with some funding. And, yeah, so we'll probably have 3 or 4, 3 or 4 small projects, and then start really thinking about what we're gonna do with the rink roof.
Oh, that's great. That's helpful, just as stuff comes, sometimes we're forwarded things or see grant opportunities.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good to know.
Jim?
Nothing else.
Autumn?
Mhm.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, we can go.
Thank you, everyone.
Now, this is our executive session meetings.
Thank you.
Executive session meetings were held on October 27th, October 25th, November 11th, November 15th, and prior to this meeting on November 21st to discuss personnel.
Additionally, the executive session prior to this meeting, the matters of litigation were discussed with respect to the Meadville Landlords United lawsuit. I would also like to note that there was a hearing that was held with respect to the Meadville Landlords United preliminary injunction request that they had made, which the court had rejected. An argument on the validity of the, continued validity of the ordinance is scheduled to be in January. We have no reason to believe that the city would not be successful in that litigation. Other than allowing landlords to continue the registration process through the end of, nearly to the end of December, there is no further delay in implementation in the ordinance expected.
And that's just the landlords involved in the suit, which
Right.
Gary is the-
Just the landlords involved in the suit. Yep.
Any questions, anyone, Jim?
No.
Approved minutes of October 17th, regular meeting.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, communication.
I think we have roll call now.
Oh, I'm sorry, roll call.
McKnight.
Aye.
Myers. Absent. Rowell.
Aye.
Vogel.
Aye.
Kendrick. Absent.
Now, communications.
There was a letter from Kathleen Dunlop concerning 731 Park Ave. There was also a letter from the Hope President Council regarding some concerns in Hope Board. And there was a letter from the Planning Commission recommending proposed revisions to the zoning ordinance.
Managers report.
So first up, we have the right to know request update, which I'll turn over to Zach.
We are currently at 87 right to know requests, still at 6,000 in fees and legal costs.
Next up is just an update on how Crime Watch is progressing. So currently we have, as of yesterday, 429 subscribers. The site has seen 7,463 views. That's just as a reminder, this is a site that acts as the police social media platform where they can push out different advertisements for things happening in the city. Any kind of emergencies will be pushed out, so we always encourage folks to download the app so you can be notified immediately of any emergency happening within the city. After that, the November 18th budget presentation update. There was the budget presentations happening at the library on Saturday the 18th. We had a few attendees, so thankful to those who did come out and attend. If you missed it, there's another date, December 2nd. It's also a Saturday from 11 to 1, again at the Meadville Library. We'll be doing it a little bit differently. We kind of set up stations, so it's a much more informal process than what we had on the 18th.
There were snacks and coffee at the last one. Will there be snacks and coffee again?
There will be snacks and coffee again.
Great. It was
Yes.
very enticing. I wish everyone would have known. Great. Thank you for that.
No problem. Next up is an ABC update. So currently, we are accepting applications for for 10 different boards and authorities that we're accepting applications for until the end of day on Monday, December 4th. There are openings in 10 different boards, so there are 16 vacancies total. I will note, though, that some of the people currently serving have expressed interest in continuing to serve on those boards and authorities. But per council's appointment policy, we are taking applications for all of those vacancies.
Can I ask a question about that?
Mhm.
I guess it's maybe a specific one, but like, sounded like Donna wants to keep
Yep,
being on.
I reminded Erin when
Okay.
they walked out.
Okay, great.
Yes. So again, till the 4th to submit those applications. And just another update on the Meter EZ, the payment parking app. It is available for folks to use at the moment. Still working out a couple kinks in the system, but that's to be expected. And we'll start fully pushing the marketing on that probably after Thanksgiving, very beginning of December. And there'll be pamphlets, a how-to video per the request of the Meadville Independent Business Alliance. And we'll post some of those things and distribute those flyers around town.
That be, okay, because we're talking later today about free parking.
Mhm.
So there will be pending our decision, free parking. But in the areas that aren't covered by free parking, the
Yes.
Meter EZ would be publicly launched, okay?
Yep.
Okay.
And that is all that I have.
Council subcommittee reports, housing and redevelopment. I have nothing. Community engagement.
I believe Rena heard back from all of the junior council member candidates that they've accepted their positions. So we'll have 4 and we'll work out a kind of rotation whereby 2 will sit with council and 2 will kind of watch the proceedings and
Good.
learn, and that's going to be great. And I think we'll talk more about that a little later. Yeah, Mary Ann talked about the budget session that happened at the library. I really appreciate all of the department heads for being there on a Saturday and talking to the folks in the public who came, and I just felt like, we've read through my book and we've gone through a few things, but I feel like I had an even deeper understanding of things after Saturday, so thanks. I look forward to having a really deep understanding after December 2nd. Hoping we can push that out through Mary Meadville. We can say it's part of the programming for the 2-day light up event. That'd be the best thing. Encourage folks to reach out to people about these openings on ABCs. There's potentially a lot unless folks are reinstated to their positions, but hopefully we can get the word out and get some new folks involved.
Finance, Jim?
No, everything's just in process, nothing new.
Okay. Infrastructure?
I'm not aware of any new initiatives since our last meeting.
Neither am I.
Any questions? Old business?
None?
New business? Motion to appointment of Samantha Blount to the Civil Service Board?
So moved.
I'll second.
So Samantha has gone through the entire interview process. We did reach out to make sure, since it's been some time, that she was still interested. She adamantly accepted being appointed and is looking forward to that. So it is also the recommendation of the Civil Service Board member to appoint Samantha as the 3rd member to the board.
Roll call?
McKnight,
Aye.
Myers, absent. Roa,
Aye.
Vogel,
Aye.
Kinder, absent.
Discussion of Community Heritage Foundation grant and junior councilperson program?
So this is me. I reached out to the Crawford Community Heritage Foundation. They have their window for applications for their discretionary fund is open through, I think, mid-December. I think it's the 15th that it's open. The city has gotten grants through Community Heritage Foundation before. The question that I posed was whether or not a kind of our own discretionary fund could for use of the junior council members would kind of be a qualifying use, right? We found, I think, in our interview process, right, the young people were inspiring and great, but they had like big ideas that like cost money, and I want to give them everything, but we have no money in our budget. So I'm just I had reached out thinking, you know, if we could apply for a few $1,000s, so they've got a little bit of money to spend to implement some of their ideas, and that doesn't have to pull from any of our funds, and we don't have to crush their little hearts. And I think I was drafting the application today, and right, I think there can be some value in like understanding prioritization and budgeting and making decisions together, and working with city staff, and I think probably in our finance department to kind of decide what those funds would be used for, and then report on them. I think it's could be on them. So that's kind of the proposal that is not fully drafted all the way, but that's the thought. And it was Amanda and Christian did respond that they thought that would be a compelling application. So
Good.
I guess I'm looking for that would probably end up being submitted maybe before our next meeting, though I guess it could come back before council before the 15th. So should I keep working on it, or should I scrap it? That's what I want to know.
No, I think it's great what you're doing. I like your personal initiative that you take and put into the, I think
Thanks,
it's great.
Jim.
Yeah.
Great. Are you okay with it, Jim?
I'm okay with
All
it.
right. So I will probably, after Thanksgiving holiday, maybe the following week, connect with staff, because there's things I don't know. Our tax ID number, etc. We can submit it together. That'd be great.
Next, resolution authorizing signatures affirming participation in substantial Pennsylvania Municipal Certification Program. Say that 3 times.
A resolution of the Council of the City of Meadville, Crawford County, Pennsylvania, affirming the City of Meadville's participation in the Sustainable Pennsylvania Municipal Certification Program.
Motion?
I move to pass the resolution.
I'll second.
So this city's gold level certification expires in December, and staff is working through the process of the recertification. We've been in communication with Sustainable Pittsburgh, who's the main proponent of this program, and they've told us that they're really not going to start enforcing any of the, because the certification has changed over the year, they're going to allow a little leeway before your certification formally expires. But we do, I think we're on track to have the certification done. And this resolution reaffirming our participation in the program is a requirement of the program.
Questions?
Yeah, do we know that if we've seen any bang for our buck in terms of certification? I know sometimes it's preferential points on things or things like that. Like, has that come into play?
I'm not sure if we've seen any check the box kind of points from that. Peter, are you aware of anything that you've seen come your way?
Where I think it was just anecdotally that our recent visit from the USDA representatives that came here was because they noticed our gold level certification was sustained in Pennsylvania. So if that's credit to us for making that connection through a bit of notice, that's all I can say.
Roll call?
McKnight,
Aye?
Myers, Rolla,
Aye.
Vogel,
Aye.
Kendrick.
The resolution authorized signatures for free 2-hour parking during our holiday season.
Resolution of the Council of the City of Meadville authorizing 2-hour free holiday parking within the city.
So moved.
I'll second.
This is an annual resolution that council passes to allow free parking in certain areas of downtown to help encourage shopping during the holiday season. This year, the proposed dates for free parking are from Friday, November 24th through Tuesday, January 2nd. And there is a letter from the MEBA president, Victoria Dixon, included in your packet, formally requesting the free parking.
Roll call?
McKnight,
Aye?
Myers absent. Roa.
Aye.
Vogel.
Aye.
Kinder absent.
Does Lindy need help bagging meters?
I don't think so.
Resolution recognizing Barry Powers on his retirement from the Meadville Area Sewer Authority.
A resolution of the Council of the City of Meadville recognizing Barry Powers upon his retirement. Resolved by the Council of the City of Meadville that whereas Barry Powers has served as a valued employee of the City of Meadville for a total of 20 years, having served as Maintenance Technician 1 for the Meadville Area Sewer Authority, whereas Mr. Powers opted to retire from his most recent position as Maintenance Technician 1 with the City of Meadville, and whereas Mr. Powers has performed the duties of his position with dedication, thoughtfulness, and accuracy, and whereas Mr. Powers has elected to fully retire from active employment with the City of Meadville and will be sorely missed by his coworkers. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Meadville that Barry Powers is hereby commended for his many years of loyal and dedicated service to this community and its citizens. Be it further resolved by the City Council of the City of Meadville that the best wishes of the city are extended to Mr. Powers for every success in the future.
Move to adopt.
I'll second.
Roll call.
McKnight.
Aye.
Roa.
Aye.
Vogel.
Aye.
Kinder absent.
Thank you, Barry.
And public comment on non-agenda items.
None?
None. Council member statements. Autumn, we'll start with you.
Sure. I hope everyone has a nice Thanksgiving. And I also want to congratulate Common Roots on receiving the first Neighborhood Assistance Program tax credit that Crawford County has seen. So that's a very exciting thing. Area businesses are contributing to the start of a homeownership program, a shared equity homeownership program, which is great. I think it aligns with our housing action plan, our intent to increase homeownership rates and also opportunity for folks here in Meadville. So congratulations to Common Roots, and thanks to Voodoo Brewery, Shivers Construction, Optical Filters, Erie Bank, Fuller Building Group, and Chipsco, who all contributed to that and will contribute and make that possible. It's a partnership with Allegheny College too. And just, trip down memory lane, this kind of came up because Allegheny College was slated to demo 4 houses on Prospect Street. Neighbors circulated a petition asking that those houses not be taken down and instead be put into active use. They brought that petition to City Council. Leroy and I met with Allegheny College, and then those meetings continued with Mayor Kinder, with Jamie. And we were able to work with Allegheny to find a compelling, way for these properties to not only not be teared down, but to really be kind of part of a solution for the housing crisis that we're seeing. So just grateful that we could be a small part in that, and just really glad that Common Roots is doing the work that we're doing, and so many folks are getting behind them. So congratulations, and look forward to continuing our work together to improve housing conditions in Meadville.
Great. Jim?
Well, just best wishes for happy Thanksgiving and a safe holiday.
Yeah, I'd like to say the same. But I just like to thank people that everybody doesn't see doing, or that takes the extra initiative, like Autumn. She does a lot on her own report finding, fact finding. Jim, it says a lot to me about people that are on City Council, the staff and all, that they care. They go the extra mile, and look at the programs that we're coming up with, the initiative, and inspiring people to work together. I think it's really great, and I'm proud to be a part of the City Council. And again, I just want to thank the people that are listening and watching, and encourage you to come to our meetings. Don't listen to what's said out on the streets. If you want to know, this is the place to come. You get the answers, or you'll get the people that will look and find you the answers. So I like to just again say thank you for all that you guys have done and are doing for the city of Meadville, and hope we all have a happy Thanksgiving. Motion.
I moved. Okay, I'll second.
Roll call.
McKnight.
Aye.
Myers absent. Roa.
Aye.
Vogel. Kinder absent.